Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 5 of Mad Dialogue with me, Michelle.
And me, Skylar.
Oh, my goodness. Hi, everybody. I hope you're well, and I hope you're having a good week so far. This week, I was wanting to talk about family dynamics. And by that, I'm meaning like, that middle child thing, golden child, and so on and so forth. So let me ask you, Skylar, do you think that there is a middle child in a family of 5, 6, obviously including uh, your stepbrother? So do you, what?
What stepbrother?
Not stepbrother. Yeah,
Half
not
brother.
half brother. So sorry. Do you know what? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, bonus son. Listen, when
Jack, if you're watching this.
I know when I said it, I was like, hold on a minute, that doesn't sound right. Obviously, I was thinking somebody else, but yeah, I'm so sorry. So sorry, bonus son. Yeah, right. So with 5.
Okay, well, six
siblings.
is an even number, so technically it's impossible. But I'd say when you look at it like that, if you're doing it out of the 6 of us, then it would end up being me and Neo.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if not, yeah, it would just end up being me and Neo, but no.
Yeah, I think it would be, but like, all right then.
No.
So
it'd be Jack and Neo.
Jack and Neo.
Yeah, but yeah, and then if not, then just Neo. But yeah, but it's difficult to have a middle child. It's usually just if it's like 3.
Right. And so, and there's always this thing that the eldest child is really like well behaved and whatnot, and then you have then the middle child that is just rebellious and whatnot, and then you have the baby of the family that is just always the baby of the family, can do no wrong type of thing. But like you said, we don't have that because there are so many of you. But what we do have, I feel, is that thing where, like, let's just take the 3 of you that are living at home right now.
Yeah,
that would make you the middle child. Do you feel like you are?
No, but no.
But I think even though you're the youngest sister, I feel like you feel like you're the older one sometimes. Where it concerns Neo. Obviously you're older than Annie, but where it concerns Neo, I feel like you kind of take the big, I mean, like, for example, you're cooking for him today.
Yeah, I feel like it's not more so that I like take a big sister up, but I just feel like there's not like a crazy difference in our age where it's like, okay, he's the older sibling and I'm the one that comes. It doesn't feel like that. It just, it is what it is. Whereas, with Roxanne and Israel, like, they're my older siblings. But like, yeah, with Neo and Jack and Ernie, because it's so close and thingy, it doesn't really feel like, oh, there's like a big significance, like.
Because me, obviously I'm the eldest of my siblings, and I always had that role where I did look after them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was very much that big sister. So it is that thing when you look at dynamics, and then when you look at like other people, like my friends when I was growing up, like I remember, because where I lived, my house, the kitchen looked onto the play area opposite, and there was a girl that I knew growing up. She was actually friends with my mum's sister, and but we were also close in age. And when we became adults, she said to me one day, I used to think that you was a snob and stuck up, because when we'd be in the play area playing and everything, you'd just be looking at us out of the window. And I said, I was actually at the kitchen sink washing up and looking after my younger siblings.
Imagine.
I wasn't able to play out as much as, what you guys were, because she was actually one of the youngest. She actually had your position, the position in the family type thing. So it was that kind of thing. And being the eldest, I feel like you do take on responsibility. But when I look at you guys, like as my children, even though you are all different ages, you all display different things which would show strength of character, where like, even though I know who's the eldest and who's the youngest, like I know that, but you will bring a different quality to the family dynamic, especially as the siblings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So are you of that mindset then? Do you believe in like scapegoat and golden child, or what it was more referenced as was black sheep?
Yeah, but you know, not every family has one. I feel like you know, you can look at other people's sibling dynamics and be like, oh, I can see how, like, you know, they'll be left out, or why, you know, or like seeing like how one of the siblings is like doted on and stuff like that. But with us, like, I don't feel like I know I'm everyone's favorite, but mine is that. I don't think there's any of that going on.
Oh, so what you're saying is that I am fair, to how I am with each of you. Like,
but I feel like you can't help having an extra special relationship with your favorite children, even if they're unconsciously your favorite.
I see. This brings me to this my next point, and it's interesting that you brought this up because I was actually going to say this bit next. So do you think that
we got a podcast together? Do you know what's seeing?
Oh my goodness!
She's got five other children. And I'm the only one that has a podcast. Let's do some maths. Let's do some maths, guys.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to say this again, for I don't know how many times I've said this since you have been of an age where you could speak. I do not have favorites. I will be honest when I say this. There are days where I don't like any of you.
That's fine.
I don't have favorites. What I will say is that I do have a relationship that is unique with each of you, and with you, we do spend a lot of time together. And I'm going to be honest, right? Because I am always my authentic self. I believe that we have most definitely shared past lives together, and I firmly, and I also had I was meditating and I had a vision of you before you were born. And my goodness, you did, like, when you turned the age of the little girl that I saw in my meditation, it was you. Do you know what I mean? So, like, with you, I do have a unique relationship. I'm not going to deny that, but at the same time, I don't have a favorite.
Yeah,
because,
well, we obviously
like, if you take even one of you away from the whole puzzle, my heart's broken. Do you know what I mean?
Course,
and shattered into a million pieces. Like, that's why I say you guys are my 5 heartbeats. And you know, I love my bonus, and you know, I love your half brother. Like, that's not the point I'm making. It, I carried you 5. Inside me, you came through my portal. So, you know, but I remember this woman that I knew, and at this time of my life, I only had Roxanne in Israel, and she only had a son and a daughter. And she said to me one day, which one's your favorite? So I'm looking around thinking she's talking about something like an object, like, you know, like tea or coffee, whatever, I don't know. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, out of Roxanne and Israel, which one's your favorite? And I was like, what a strange question. And I said, I don't have a favorite. And she says, oh, I do. And she's like, my daughter's my angel and my son's the devil. And my goodness, karma's a real thing, you know. Do you know, God bless her, little girl fell ill and passed away. And she was left with her son.
I remember you saying as well.
You know, and, you know, I was so happy that I made a point of saying I don't have a favorite. To see that happen. And so I was even more steadfast in that stance, that was like, no, I definitely don't have a favorite. I remember watching, it was movie clips. And in this scene, it was the actress Meryl Streep, and she had a son and a daughter. And she was holding her daughter in her arms, and her son was standing next to her. And the officer, whatever you call them, like, he came up to her and he told her she had to pick one. And pick one, you know. And I was actually pregnant with you at the time, I remember. And when I say I bawled my eyes out, I cried, because I remember thinking, oh my goodness, like, you know, when that having to make that decision, you couldn't make that decision ever. So no, I don't have favorites, but I have seen plenty of families that do, and make it so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, and I just find that crazy, because it's just like, how do you favor one of your children over the other? Like, they're both your children
that came from you.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, even down to like my nieces and my nephew. Do you think I have a favorite out of the three of them? Like, I could never.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know, like, I get like the fact that it's a different type of love for each one, you know?
That's what I said. And you see, that's the thing. I do remember, and I'll be honest to this, I remember when I was pregnant with Roxanne, and I mean pregnant with Israel, and obviously, you know, I've already got Roxanne, and it was so strange to me, because it was like, how am I going to divide my love? Like, you know, you love your mum, you love your dad, they're two different people, but these are both your children. Like, how does that work? And I remember it was a real conundrum for me. And I remember my friend at the time, she said, because she had two children, and she said, it's, you know, it's because you're struggling to work out how you do it. She said, but you will work it out. And what I learned was that the love that I have for each of you is different.
Yeah.
Why? Because you are different people. But the amount of love, the level of love, the degree of love is equal.
Yeah.
None is greater than the other, because you are all my children. Do you understand? But I do love you differently, because you are different people. And that worked for me. Do you know what I mean? And when parents decide that they have a favorite, they're not realizing the toxicity that they are creating within the family dynamic, and what this is what inevitably causes the dysfunction.
Yeah.
Because once you've picked a favorite, that is inevitably the golden child.
Yeah.
Which then means that the other children have to take on a certain role. Hence, where comes the black sheep and scapegoat. Yes. And so then the other ones, say, like, if there's another one or another two, they fall somewhere in between that. So either they're going to be more pushed to the scapegoat side, or they're going to be more seen as the golden child, dependent on the parents' view. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you have children, don't have favorites. Don't look at me like that. Don't do that face.
Yeah, because that's such a ridiculous thing to say.
I'm just giving you some advice.
I don't need that advice.
But you can sit here and say that you're my
Obviously,
favorite.
I know you don't have favorites, but you know, if there was to be one. Besides the point.
Well, I can tell you this right now. If my mother has a favorite, which I suspect that she does, and I know which one it is. Sorry, who it is. But I know for sure it isn't me. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I made my peace with that a long, long time ago. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, but yeah, so don't do it. Don't do it, Skylar. Not really, I'm joking. But it's been great talking with you today. I say this like we're not going to talk once we stop filming.
Always. I swear there's another video that says that.
I didn't put my filming sign on the door.
Oh, well.
What do you mean, oh, well?
No one came in, so...
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I went to a lot of trouble.
Okay, you're not going to have another opportunity to put it up.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's annoying when you take on the parental role. But anyway, we're going to leave it there, people. And as usual, it was lovely. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please follow us on our podcast on all major streaming platforms. And if you are listening to us on our podcast, please go and follow us on YouTube. As usual, it's been great. I'm sending an abundance of love and light. And it's bye from me.
Bye.